Thank you very much. My name is Honorable Stephen Muller, a member of the Sports, Culture and Heritage Committee, with my colleagues, Honorable Bashir, Honorable CNN, and the other members who have gone for lunch. We are here for an investigation whereby the music rights corporate or industry lost about 67 million shillings, which was supposed to be money for musician and artist, and a case which was in court was withdrawn in a very unclear circumstances. Yes. But I will tell you for free, whatever we are unearthing is so crazy you can't believe, whereby our artists' sweat has been taken to our pocket by a few individuals, and that's what we want to get into the bottom part of it. And also we are looking at now to harmonize the industry and make sure that the musicians in this country earn their own sweat. So this is a very long investigation. We started it about 2 weeks ago, and what is coming out is that the regulator KECOBO seems to have mentored with issues with the CMOs to an extent whereby he is demanding to be a signatory of the CMOs. These are private companies run by members of the music industry. Without further ado, I can assure you that we are going to unearth this mess in the industry and align the industry in such a way that musicians in this country can get what is right for them and what is good for them. We are still also going to follow up the 100 million which was pledged by the president, the former regime, for musicians during the COVID time, because what we are hearing is that the money cannot be accounted from KECOBO. We are also looking at an issue which has come up today of 34 million. So there is a serious amount of money in the music industry, and we were saying that if musicians in UK, in London, in the US, in Spain are billionaires, why are our musicians not billionaires? Because there are things which are not being done right, and they are being musicians being taken in circles. If you look at what we call Sikiza, who collects the rights of Sikiza? And that gets to the members, that's the musician and the artist in this country. We are going to go for everybody who is eating these monies without his sweat input. And we are going to align this. And as a committee, that's our work, to oversight this industry. And as you know very well, members of parliament, we have, under the constitution, we are mandated to resolve any issue touching on citizens of this country. And one, this is an issue whereby the music industry has been put into people's pocket. You heard this morning an artist called Musaimo saying that he has not benefited from his hard work for many years. And there are many, many more. And for us as a committee, we will not be part and parcel of the mess which we are seeing. And I know when we will be doing our final recommendation, some people will have to carry their own cross. That's a fact. I don't want to preempt it, but I can assure you people will have to carry their own cross so that we can also give justice to the musicians of this country. Thank you.
My name is Charles Busiaguna, Member of Parliament, Midwest, and a member of this Sports and Culture Committee. First of all, what we've had is really shocking. Why our artists are not earning anything, why our artists are not millionaires, why our artists have not made ends to meet, and the problem is actually the regulator. And the first recommendations we are going to do is to do away with the board of the regulations. Number 2, the CEO must go. Number 3, the CEO of risk must also go. So our artists have been really doing a great job, but they have not been getting the royalties. And as a matter of fact, we are going to investigate all this. So this issue, we have to close it very soon. We have seen even the board is not doing their right work. And the only justice we can do to Kenyan artists is doing away with the whole regulations, authority, and ensuring that each and every board is taken into place. And I'm in support of the committee. We are retreating for report writing, and we will come up with a clear law that will help all our artists in our country. Thank you.
With the revelation, Mheshimiwa, that the KECOBO boss has a godfather in quotes, do you think this committee is going to stand enough and ensure that he is removed from that?
We are the people's representative, and the committee is final. What we make judgment here, the recommendations we are going to do here, it is final.
I just want to tell him,
the court.
if he thinks he had a godfather, he better go and look for a godmother. As simple as that. So we will not be his mother, a godmother, or his godfather. We'll do the right thing for this country. We don't have a choice.
Just on that,
first, let me introduce myself. I'm Honorable Robert Basil, Member of Parliament for Yatta. I want to echo what my friends have said, that if you look at this industry, most of the youth are employed by music, and we cannot just sit and watch. So this is a joint agreement. We have to do reconstitution of KECOBO to make sure that the person who comes there is someone of integrity, because the embezzlement of money is there, is clear. Over 100 million has been lost, and we can't sit and watch.
Are you going to prefer charges on the KECOBO CEO, and what are you going to do when an audit is found that he had embezzled public funds?
One, it is very clear that within the Ethics and Integrity Act, when you embezzle funds, you must be tried, and that money has to be recovered. So it is not an excuse. He has to pay the money has to be handed over to the KECOBO, and the youth have to benefit. And so many artists who are actually struggling in poverty need to be given this money. So it's not an excuse at all. And that's why we are standing very firmly as a committee to make sure this is done.
And the other thing is that I want to tell you, the Committee of Parliament, like this one, has powers of High Court. Once we make a recommendation for you to be prosecuted, please don't go looking for CIDs at Kiambu Road. Find yourself in court, because we'll have done our job and we'll do it thoroughly and recommend some prosecution to some of these fellows. Whereby we'll find somebody has embezzled fund and walked away with public money. You can be assured that he'll not get into Kiambu. He'll find himself in court. As simple as that.
And you know, we have an history in this country. When people steal money, they hide within the framework of the law. We have seen ESCC going in circles. By this time around, we can tell ESCC, as members of Parliament who have a role to do oversight and to represent millions of Kenyans, and more so the youth, we will be able to task them to make sure that the culprit is brought to book and justice prevails. If they fail to do that, we have a duty to disband ESCC. They have not been able to perform, and we have no apologies to say that, because we cannot be watching people stealing public money. Like now, if you look at the music industry, United States is one of the lucrative industry that is employing thousands and thousands of youth. In Kenya, it is the opposite. Many of the artists are actually running away. Yesterday, we saw this Mustafa, actually in construction industry. That was a renowned artist who is actually struggling to exist and even be able to afford bills. The reason being, most of the artists are not getting proceeds from what they are going to do or what they are doing. So in principle, it's very clear that something has to be done. And the best way to set a precedence is actually to try to put those people in jail and to have their proceeds recovered, so that the industry can stand firm and the other artists can be encouraged to join the industry.
We also need to put the protectors of those people who just do illegal things. We are going to task our committee on implementation to make sure every recommendation we have made for this committee is fully 100% implemented.
Thank you.
So, you all know that we have been having serious problems in terms of regulations, and this has occasioned MCSK Municipal Society of Kenya, the Society for the Helpers and Composers, Arrangers and Publishers, to be where it is today. You know, we do not have license, and this has been occasioned by a law CEO or a regulator in Kenya Corporate Board. So what we are asking the committee and the government actually, it is for us to be given an opportunity, to work for the musicians of Kenya, because a lot of money is going without being collected because of poor regulations, non-compliance. This haven't been occasioned by the CEO, whom we entrusted in that office as a regulator, but he has failed us totally, completely, and we are now reaping nothing. So we are requesting the government through the committee to make changes, and especially we do not want to work with a regulator who is not friendly to us. We want a friendly regulator who will make sure musicians will get what they are supposed to get. Thank you so much.
Are you in any
unfit for that office? We even wrote a letter to the CS and Babna Mwamba complaining over the same. We have even gone to the ethics and corruption, writing some letters requesting them to audit this person. He only, not only forensic audit to Sigei, also lifestyle audit wanted to be done to him. It's very wrong. He's unfit to hold that office.
Yes, Doctor.
I think my chairman has said it all. We just thank God that finally the Committee of Parliament that is responsible for the arts and sports, as you've seen, has finally taken up the bull by its horns. And we are hoping that the truth that has come out on record will be followed to the full extent of the law, because every time we raise these issues, Sigei seems to have some godfathers. And we are now very clear that if it's not about the law, then the president should pronounce himself on this, because the hustlers that we are fighting for are the people that he committed to fight. These musicians are the real hustlers. All we are asking is fairness in the administration of copyright in this country, and what we need is just a service code and license from the government. We are private companies, and for us to thrive, we need a conducive environment. When you have not collected, you cannot distribute. If you collect little, you distribute little. And yet, the regulator has been demonizing CMOs, auditing them all the time. Yet he himself needs to be audited since the time in doing that. And like the chairman has said, not just forensic audit on the company or on KECOBO, but on the lifestyle of this executive director. So we have never had an opportunity for many years to be listened to by the government. We have always been treated like criminals. MCSK and the CMOs have been demonized, yet the problem is known and it lies with one person, the executive director of KECOBO. We're asking the president, kindly just remove this man, give him another job. He can serve elsewhere. We want this industry to thrive, and we are wasting time. We are hoping that by the end of the 5 years, the government of Kenya will have something to say to musicians, because they will have empowered the CMOs to collect. MCSK is the biggest CMO, not just in Kenya but in Africa. We are ready to work. We only need the support of government. We need the license, and we need police to ensure that we are supported in the enforcement, to collect from matatus, to collect from users of copyrighted music in clubs, in bars and elsewhere, because we can't do that without the police enforcement.
Ahead of
we have tabled what we know. We have brought documents that, like the chairman has said, that show that we have raised these matters before. Our expectation is that justice will be served, that finally we'll get our side of the story will be heard and will be captured in the report that will come out of this, and musicians of this country will start reaping from their sweat, and they will be able to earn their money. And veterans like this lady here will be able to get the money for the sweat and for the talent that they have. Like the committee has said, the richest people in the world are musicians and sports people and the creatives. This is the industry where that should be supporting government projects, should be sponsoring these politicians to run for office. They should not be beggars. We have seen musicians dying in abject poverty, yet they have entertained us for years, because government is trying to use one office called KECOBO to do business cartels, to support cartels, and to mistreat our artists in this country. It is time for the government to listen. Where is the problem? And we have identified it. Our expectation is that this matter will be brought to its logical conclusion, and Sigei will vacate the office, and that we are going to get a license and police reinforcement to serve our members.